you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Hayes, and I just had that very intense event online. I hope you read a lot. We thank you for tuning in and giving Tamara and I the opportunity. If you were tuning in with us for the event and you missed some of the videos that Tamara posted, you might want to go back to the page and check those videos out. They're very informative, and there's a few contests in them as well, I believe. So just a little bit of recap. We just learned all about our products. We just learned about leaky gut, which is in one of the videos. I hope you really watched that. And we learned a little bit about health and wellness. And I'm sure that your brain is completely overstimulated right now, because mine is, just from posting everything. So, and don't worry if you didn't get a chance to see everything, because it did happen fast. It was a lot of information. It will be left there for a while. You will be able to get to go back and to review it and use it as some notes. So now we are going on to the good stuff. We get a live testimony from an awesome friend of mine. She has been an even better mentor of mine, and she is a woman who shows me on a daily basis what the true meaning of strength is. So here we're going to hear our story and testimony of what Plexus has done for our senior Ruby ambassador, Dawn Andrews.
Well, thank you. Can everybody hear me? Yes, everybody thumbs up. All right. So hi, guys. I'm Dawn Andrews, senior Ruby ambassador with Plexus. And thank you, Amy. That was a wonderful event. I was in the middle of kind of putting my kids to bed, so I was kind of in and out. Just to give you kind of who I am, I have about 5 children. Ages, my youngest is 5. My oldest is getting ready to be 15 years old. So I'm a super busy mom. I've always been a stay-at-home mom, and prior to Plexus, a stay-at-home mom, and I still consider myself a stay-at-home mom now with a really awesome income being a senior Ruby ambassador. So I love that we're able to do things like this and put my kids to bed by 9 o'clock, and then come on and do a live testimony and do a team call and trainings for my team on what I call my regular business hours. So it's one of the beauties of network marketing and being a Plexus ambassador, is to truly fit it into the nooks and crannies of our lives. So anyway, so let me tell you a little bit about my story, how I got into Plexus and sort of where I was, what I did about it, where I am, and also where I'm going. So I'm going to kind of break it down into those questions. So where I was in January of 2014, I was a homeschooling mother of 5 children, super, super, super tired, super busy, and about 25 pounds overweight. At the time, my daughter was traveling. She's a competitive dancer and was doing a lot of traveling, and being a stay-at-home mom and only having one income in the house, it was very hard for me to be able to afford to go with her to her dance competitions. So I started to see a real need to be able to earn a little bit of extra money for our family to be able to do those things. So I started kind of putting my feelers out, and couldn't really afford, didn't have time to get a job. I was so busy. I didn't want to have to be away from my family. I wasn't willing to sacrifice that time away from my family for that extra income. So I sort of looked at some different products and kind of looked a little bit into multi-level marketing, but nothing really jived with me, because I knew that I couldn't really, for me personally, couldn't get behind selling a lot of just products, something that didn't really mean something. So one day I was on Facebook and I saw a message from a high school friend. His name was Andrew Gwynn, and he said something to the effect, it was right around Christmas, it was in December. He said, I know that everybody's thinking about New Year's resolutions and losing weight and getting healthy, and I thought I'd just throw it out there because my wife Celeste started this business. She does this thing called Plexus, and our families has enjoyed a lot of health benefits. She's lost 35 pounds using the Plexus nutritional supplements, and she's started a really great business, and it's really been helpful to our family. So I saw that post, and I knew Andrew Gwynn. I knew him from high school, super good guy, a lot of integrity, trusted the family. So I thought, well, that sounds like something that might fit for me. I like that. I like that the business model was no parties. Most businesses were built on social media, using Facebook, just sort of sharing with friends. It just seemed like a really good fit. So after a conversation with Celeste, who I had never met her, I knew Andrew from high school, so it's been a long time. I felt pretty comfortable with the company and the integrity of the company, and certainly trusted what she was telling me about the product. So for me, I thought, okay, it's $133.95 to get your products. these products that could possibly help me lose weight and get healthy, have better energy, and be a better mom. At the time, I thought my husband needed to lose weight, and he, very stressful job, and sort of went to food as his stress relief. So he was, well, very unhealthy and overweight. And at the time, I thought he needed to lose about 50 or 60 pounds. But the cool part of the story is, and I'll just go ahead and tell you, now he's lost like 70 pounds using Plexus. So he's like even more healthy than I ever imagined. So anyway, I thought, yes, if this could work, it only cost me $133.95. That gives me my website to be a Plexus ambassador. And certainly if it works for me, then what's the first thing people say when you look better and you feel better? They say, hey, how'd you do it? And that just totally made a lot of sense. And I would say, hey, I did it with Plexus. Here's my website. Order from me. So that's really how I got into Plexus in January 2014. Like I said, very lighthearted, lose a little weight, make a little extra money. $500 was going to be perfectly fine with me to be able to travel for Morgan's dance. So what I did, so started doing that. By January, February, March, did start to lose the weight, started to feel better, started to actually feel better than I'd ever felt in my whole life. At the time I was 39, and I had I felt like I was back in my 20s, and I was super excited. It was like drinking the Plexus Slim to me, was like drinking sunshine in a glass every single day. So my future was bright. By February, March of that year, started to build a great team. I had friends come on board, like Joanna, who's on the call, and Karen, these were some of my first people who's still on the call and still with me on this team. Some of my very best friends in the world, a lot of people from high school, like Sandy, and I don't know if they're there, but so all these people started jumping on board, and we're all just really excited about the products, and everybody's getting healthy, and the team started to grow. And so this business, so it quickly became something that I realized could really be a real business. It wasn't just going to be a hobby. It wasn't going to be something that I just kind of did, but I realized I loved it so much, and I saw so many people's lives improving, and also my own, and the income opportunity, that I really decided to go for it and drew that line in the sand and started getting really bold on Facebook and social media and reaching out to people. So I had a great team, and we started growing. And so I think it was April of that year, I promoted to gold in the company. The following month in May, promoted to senior gold. So the end of May was right there. And senior gold's kind of that breaking point where your business, you're pushing the rock up the hill, was the analogy that was used by me, by Celeste actually. You're kind of pushing your rock up the hill, and when you kind of get to that senior gold level, your rock starts, your momentum starts. Because again, this is very much about team building and momentum and residual income. So anyway, I wanted to set the stage for what life was like in May of 2014. So here's where the plot takes a serious twist. On June the 2nd of 2014, I went in for a mammogram, and the reason, I was only 39 at the time, so I wasn't old enough. The 40 years old was when I told I needed the regular mammogram. And the reason I went in is because as I was losing weight through those months, I started to notice that my right breast was like a little bit bigger than the left one. I wasn't sure if it was bigger, if one was getting smaller, but it was hard to tell. With the weight loss, it became obvious that something wasn't quite right. So I went in for my mammogram, and sure enough, before I even left the office, everybody there was very, very confident that I had a pretty large tumor and a very serious breast cancer. So it's one of those moments where the whole world comes shattering down. Your whole world, 39 years old, young mother. At the time, my youngest was 3 years old. So it was pretty catastrophic. And what I thought was going to be this wonderful business where I was, ready to really go into my 40s with this new business and this new lease on life, and go from stay-at-home mom to now business owner, stay-at-home mom. All of that was up for debate. But I wasn't sure if any of those things were going to happen. At this point, I'm not even sure if I'm going to live. So it was quite something during that time period. But I can tell you what happened is when you get the news like that, you learn that you have cancer. Some of the first questions you ask is, why did I get cancer at 39, and what can I do? The doctors tell me that I'm immediately getting ready to go into chemo. That was what the first regimen was, chemo, and then I was going to get a mastectomy, and then I was definitely going to be getting radiation, and they didn't know from what was going to happen after that. But I wanted to know what I could do. So I certainly go into research mode, like most people that have any kind of illness that they're probably diagnosed with. Well, what happened was what I started discovering was so much of what Plexus had started doing for my body throughout that January to June was exactly what my body was going to need to fight cancer, and then also to stay healthy after cancer. And what I mean by that is, for example, with the Plexus Slim, certainly it helped me lose the weight. A leaner body is a healthier body. And it helped level my blood sugars. You want no sugar in your body when you have cancer in your body. There's lots of research that shows that sugar feeds cancer. Cancer grows faster with a high sugar content in the body. So the Plexus Slim had really helped with that. It had lowered my lipid levels and kind of balanced everything out. I had been doing the ProBio 5. Absolutely, I have it here. I'll show you guys, give you a little visual. That ProBio 5 had been going into my gut, had been cleaning out that candida, which again, that's that sugar fungus overgrowth, and that's super important for having a healthy body while you're fighting cancer and definitely staying cancer-free in the future. So that our ProBio 5 is over the top better than most over-the-counters, because what it does is it gets out all the bad bacteria in the overgrowth, but it also restores the good bacteria, which is huge, and that's why it's called ProBio 5, because it has 5 enzymes instead of 3, which are the typical. So those 2 extra enzymes are really important for what we call cracking the candida shell that sometimes is in the body. So that had been going on for me. So this is on all this research I was doing. It was saying, make sure you have a good probiotic. Probiotics are super important. Anything, it helps with your immunity. So this was already happening for me. Cleanse, which is something that I had also been doing as a part of what we call our triplex combo, full of magnesium. Magnesium is a very, very important mineral for a body to have. And when there's magnesium deficiencies, which many bodies have that, and typical in our modern culture, it causes an array of health concerns. So that magnesium was there. I also learned that this magnesium was going to be really important when I was going through chemotherapy, because it causes everything, all that medication and all that gunk backs everything up. So I had the BioCleanse already working for me with the magnesium and the oxygenation and helping everything to be oxygenated. Another thing that I had already been taking for all of those months was the X Factor. So the X Factor is a turbocharged multivitamin. It has B vitamins, E vitamin, D vitamin, which is very, very important. One of the first things my doctor, surgeon says is make sure you're getting sunshine, because that D is really important for cancer fighting. This has D in it, and what's really cool about this vitamin is it's infused with aloe. So every capsule has an aloe blend in it, and that aloe blend gets in the body. It creates an absorption, so all minerals, nutrients, and even stuff from your food absorbs better. So this is going to be very, very, this is one of my very favorites, and certainly after where I am now, this is one of the things that's going to absolutely keep my body right for staying cancer-free. Another thing that I had been taking, and I want to share with you guys through that time, was I've been taking the Fast Relief Nerve Support. Now, I had been taking it because I had an injury when I was in gymnastics, so I had a lot of lower back pain. So I didn't really think it was going to work. My doctors pretty much had told me, you have a bad back, your L5's messed up. Hopefully we'll get it fixed before, hopefully technology will be good enough by the time you need surgery. That was pretty much what I was told. So I start Plexus. I started for the weight loss and health. I figure, wow, why not? I'll try the nerve support and see if it makes a difference. Well, it did. Within 3 or 4 months, it really made a huge difference in my pain from my back. But because I had been taking this is a nerve coater. So what it does is it goes in and kind of protects the nerves in the body and helps the nerves to stay very healthy and actually regenerate. Well, as I was going through chemo, I never experienced neuropathy. Chemo causes very, very severe nerve damage to most chemo patients, most people that you talk to. I hear it so much. Neuropathy is very, very painful. And so I took this and I never got neuropathy. Now, one of the things I always say is, well, I never did cancer without Plexus, so it's hard to say, would I have gotten neuropathy if I hadn't had this? Well, I'll never know, but it's certainly, I think it probably made a big difference. So there was that going on. So those are the things that I was already doing. So my body was absolutely ready for what was going to be the fight of my life. So starting in July, I still went through 6 rounds of chemo, continued to take my Plexus products. Of course, I had to get my oncologist to approve them. my doctors who approved them. So everybody looked at the ingredients. Pretty much across the board was everything looks fine. There's nothing in here that's going to hurt you. And there's quite a few things that will probably be very helpful to you. It will absolutely not interfere with what we're planning to do to bomb your body to get rid of cancer. So went through that and through October, then had a surgery and mastectomy in December. But here's the really cool thing. Was because that Plexus business had already started growing and that momentum had already started, even though I was going through chemo and there was lots of days that of course I couldn't really work and I didn't want to be talking to anybody on the phone or having meetings or really even working my business that hard. I had a team in place that was working their business and they were out there sharing and they were out there growing. And so that's the beauty of this kind of business, and the beauty of network marketing is your stuff can build and grow even when you can't clock in, and that's what makes this a brilliant business model. So my Plexus business continued to grow, and actually I promoted to the next level in August of that year, right in the middle of chemo. So I went to Ruby and then continued to grow, and then right after my chemo promoted to Senior Ruby of November of last year. So that's the really cool business part of it. So then I go through mastectomy, get into the first of the year, which was I had the hardcore radiation. We have this wonderful body cream. Amy, I'm sure put it on the Plexus. Did you put it on the 101, the body cream? Well, I knew a lot about our body cream, and I knew it had spirulina algae in it, which is an active charcoal ingredient. So it's not just a moisturizer like a regular body cream, but it's an active ingredient. So I started really preparing my skin with that spirulina algae body cream. And so I went through radiation with very, very minimal radiation burns. And I'm pretty fair. So they were very, very surprised that I didn't have more radiation damage. So that's really great. And then I also joke around that I went through 5 weeks of radiation, 5 treatments a week, and I never even needed a nap. So radiation was, that was a breeze. With Plexus, with this kind of energy that the Plexus gives with all these Plexus products, it really was not too bad, and was able to still be mom to my 5 little children. So that wasn't too bad. So just to kind of give you an update. So that's kind of what I did. And so where I am now is over the summer, they decided to take my ovaries because I had an estrogen-fed tumor. So they put my 40-year-old, which is now 41-year-old body into complete menopause. So I have no ovaries, and I have also an estrogen blocker chemo drug that I take. So that could be really, really serious. And but because of what Plexus does and the body balance that these products kind of synergistically work together to restore nutrients, like we said, balance the body, have that healthy gut, and then certainly I think this one makes the X factor makes a huge difference in helping me kind of get through what would typically be pretty bad menopausal symptoms for a 40-year-old woman. They're really not too bad. I mean, I honestly have an occasional hot flash, but it's nothing I can't manage. And I stay pretty even and still pretty energetic. So it's been absolutely a godsend for me. My scans are clean. So even though I was diagnosed with a stage 3 breast cancer, and yes, I did have positive lymph nodes. So it was very, very serious. My scans were clean. My body's pretty healthy, and I'm doing very well now. I just finished out my final reconstruction surgery. So I'm out 5 weeks, and within a couple of weeks was ever ready to get back and get back to business with Plexus. So where I'm going, so that's kind of, where I am now, and where I'm going is super excited about this business because it's the most incredible business opportunity and income opportunity for anybody, but certainly someone like me who needed to be able to stay home with my kids, that I never wanted to have to put them in daycare and go get a job to make extra money. So that I've actually, that initial $500 a month that I wanted to make, so now Plexus income is bringing me about 10 times that. So pretty exciting. And where I'm going now is working really hard, and my team's doing amazing things. Like Amy did this Plexus event online, and the team's doing really cool things. And so the next level for me personally is to get to sort of that executive level emerald where it really takes you to where you can really say that network marketing and the residual income is a huge success. So that's where I'm going, and I'm super excited. And so I want to say thank you guys for for having me tonight and listening, and I would be glad to answer any questions if you have any. Good, Amy? You're good. You're muted on me, Amy.
Yes, I'm good. You're fabulous. You know that.
All right.
Any question? Oh, she looks like she has a question. Martha looks like she has a question.
Hold on, Martha. Let me unmute you, honey. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait, where are you? Hang on. There you are.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, you're unmuted now. Let's talk to us again.
Okay.
Oops, we lost her.
For several months, I guess really seriously since May, the end of May, probably the 1st of June. I have lost 10 pounds, but I'm not experiencing the things that y'all talk about. I'm not experiencing the energy. I am a 74-year-old woman.
Oh, you look really good.
Well, thank you.
You don't look, not that that's that old, but you look young. Okay.
Well, I appreciate that. But I just wanted to say I have talked to my daughter, and she's very knowledgeable. She has learned all the things that these products do. It has helped me a lot. But I just want to talk to you about the things that she has told me. I'm taking the Slim. My husband and I are taking the Slim as soon as we wake up in the morning. That's the first thing. And we're waiting 30 minutes before we eat breakfast. Is that what you recommend?
Yeah, that's fine. The Slim is one of those things you can really take the Slim any time of day, and it's going to be effective. I always just say whenever it works for you and when you like it, really. The only things that are really time that you really want to watch for the time is the accelerator. You want to make, do you take the accelerator?
No, because I have high blood pressure.
Okay, so you don't want to worry about that one. If you take the block, you want to do that one 30 minutes before a meal.
I do. What happens if I forget and it's like 15 minutes before we eat?
I think it's probably not that big a deal. I mean, it is a time release type thing, so 15 minutes doesn't make a big deal. Now, if you take it 5 minutes before, it might not work quite as well if you take it an hour before, but 15 minutes, within 15 minutes is probably.
Okay, but I can take it 30 minutes to an hour before? Or just
I
better
would say 30 minutes. Try to stick
30
to 30 minutes. 15 to 30 minutes is good.
Okay.
So that one, and then the only other ones that I would worry about the timing on is you want to make sure you take the ProBio 5 at nighttime.
I am, and that's another question that I had. If I'm taking the fast relief, sometimes I have back problems too. I've had 2 fractured vertebrae. And sometimes my back really hurts. If I take the ProBio, can I take that X Factor with it, or should I take it another time?
Well, if you're having
ProBio,
take the ProBio at nighttime for sure. I would also suggest taking can you hear me? The Omega, which I didn't go over that one because that one's fairly new. The Omega X, you want to take that at nighttime also. This is going to help with energy. This has got a lot of, helps with inflammation, a lot of inflammation.
Okay, so if I have arthritis, that would be good for the arthritis.
This one's really great. So you would want to do this one and this one at nighttime. The ProBio 5 and the Omega X.
Take them at the same time?
You can take them at the same time before you go to bed.
Okay.
But I would recommend the X Factor to take during the day, especially if you're having energy issues, because this is a vitamin and it'll give you a little boost. It'll make you feel great.
All right.
I would take it in the morning if it doesn't affect any other medication. I mean, because I know I personally take thyroid medication, so I can't take this in the morning, but it should be.
All right. Now I take thyroid medication as well, but I take mine about 4 o'clock in the morning when I wake up to go to the bathroom, because I know I'm supposed to take it on an empty stomach and not eat anything for a while.
Right.
So if I take my thyroid at 4 o'clock, and then when I eat breakfast, after breakfast, it would be okay to take the X Factor?
I think that'd be a great time, especially for energy for you. You should take the X Factor then.
All right. Now I have another question about the Bio Cleanse. I have a severe problem with my gut. my BMs. I have always, I've taken a whole cap of milk of magnesia in order to keep me regular. Now I'm using the Bio Cleanse now. Sometimes, I mean, it works beautifully, and then suddenly I can't control my bowels. They're just, and I don't know what, I'm taking 4.
Okay. Are you taking 2 in between meals, like take 2 between breakfast and lunch and 2 between lunch and dinner?
No, I was taking all 4 of them at the same time.
Yes, split them up.
It didn't make any difference.
Huh?
It hasn't made any difference. Like I took 4 today and nothing.
How many
split it up because it's an active. Try it in between meals and see what happens.
Okay. Okay. So take 2 in the morning between meals and 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I take mine at 10 and 2.
Sorry, 10.
I take mine at 10 and 2.
All right.
How many probiotics are you taking?
2.
At night, yeah.
Does that sound good?
Did you ever work up to 3 or 4?
That's where I was going, yeah.
With probiotics or the Bio Cleanse?
The probiotic.
Oh, no, I never have. Should I?
Because that's where a lot of people get those extra benefits that maybe you were saying that earlier you were not seeing some of the extra benefits that we were talking about.
Right.
So when I broke into 3 or 4, that's really getting rid of the candida yeast.
Okay.
So try to take the 4. You want to work, but if you've been taking 2 for a while, you'll be fine taking 4. If for some reason it makes your stomach hurt, then just back it back down and work your way up. But your body will get used to it, because if someone had a terrible candida yeast overgrowth and they just got the products and decided to take 4, if it was too much, it might just be too much on their system and they might not feel good, too much detox. But as long as you've been taking 2 for a while, work your way up to 4, you should be good.
Okay. All right. Good. I'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, good. Those were really great questions, and I'm sure they
testimony.
helped everybody on the line learn a little bit more. Very good.
Okay.
Anybody else? Good questions. I've got some callers. I'm going to stop recording.